Ciao friends, it's Liz from Simple Italian Cooking. So glad you are here with me, and I'm so glad to be here to share with you one of the easiest pasta recipes that I make for dinner so many times. I make it all year round, but it's especially really refreshing during the springtime and during the summer. And very simple. It's not a tomato-based sauce like you would think. Instead, we're using chopped fresh tomatoes and some garlic, olive oil, some herbs, and I've got the water going over here. It's heating up. By the time this is done, the pasta is cooked. We'll probably have our dish ready. So I'm going to step you through everything, and you're just going to be really shocked at how easy and delicious this recipe is. So I'm using cherry tomatoes. That's what they have at the store, and you can really use any kind of tomato that you want. Meatier, I think, is better. Cherry tomatoes are okay. Well, these are actually like grape tomatoes. They tend to have a lot of seeds in them, so they're not the best choice, but like I said, it's what they have available. So you're just going to start off by taking the tomatoes and giving them a good clean rinse. And I just like to do that anytime that I buy produce from the store. So you just don't know who's touching what, and you know, if they've been sick or whatever, and just going through the whole produce transportation through all the trucks and everything. I just like to give everything a nice clean rinse, a wash. But the first thing before I actually do this, I'm getting ahead of myself, is we want to heat up a pan, a saucepan like this, any will do, and just go ahead and put that over, I'd say medium heat. I'm going to do medium low because this is an induction. It heats up quicker. And you're going to use extra virgin olive oil, which most of us probably have if you're familiar with Italian cooking and you enjoy Italian cooking. Odds are you have this in your pantry already. This is one of the dishes that you would want to use this for instead of regular olive oil. If you're new to Italian cooking, then you may not know the differences between regular and extra virgin. And it has to do with how it's pressed and how it's processed. And I won't get into all of that. But I use extra virgin in just about all of my cooking, unless I'm like deep frying something. So we heat up the olive oil, and I guess I put in about maybe, I don't know, a tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm just going to take some garlic cloves here, and how much you use is totally up to you. I am going to use two good, this is making some noises here. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, that's better. But I like the garlic in this dish because we're not having a lot of other flavors. We're not having there's no meat in it. We're not using a mix of herbs. It's just very, very simple. And so I think the garlic goes a long way for this recipe. So I'm just doing two. You can do more. You can do less. Unlike a regular tomato sauce, we are not going to mince the garlic per se. I'm just going to kind of roughly chop it. And I like to crush it as best I can, especially depending on how fresh it is from the store. Sometimes they don't crush all that great. And I'm just going to kind of cut it into strips and then cut it again the opposite way. And that gives it kind of like a diced. You know, if you mince it, it's going to be too small. And but that's what you like. By all means, do it. And the water is just about boiling. And I'm going to chop that up. That's going to taste delicious because I can already smell the garlic. It's nice and fragrant. That's what we want. Okay, of course it's sticky. And for a utensil, I mean, honestly, you can use anything. I'm just going to use a spoon. And what I like to do is I like to coat the olive oil here. coat the garlic with the olive oil. It just helps make it a little smoother. Really quick and easy dish to make. So I'm actually going to get the pasta that I'm using. And if you're curious as to what kind of pasta, I'm using a thin spaghetti for this. You could use penne. You can use any type of short pasta. You want to go more with the delicate pastas, so I really don't recommend your thicker ones unless that's really what you like, but I think the delicate pastas are better. This pasta here, I wish I had angel hair. That's really actually what I wanted, but I didn't have it enough on hand. So this is a thin spaghettini. And let me just get that down in the water. I just like to use a fork and just kind of, it's always good to mix the noodles a little bit, just kind of back and forth in the boiling water. Because what that does is that helps prevent it from clumping and sticking together because of the starchy pasta. So I just like to kind of poke my fork in there. You know, some people swear by adding some olive oil to the boiling water. And this really boils pretty high, so I'm going to keep that down just a little bit. But some people put a little drop of olive oil and swear by that prevents any type of sticking. And that probably works well. I don't usually do that. I don't know. Let me know if you do, and if you, you know, find that really makes a difference. I'm going to turn this down just a tad. You'll notice I'm using induction burners, and I actually use induction burners for my regular cooking. Okay, so I don't want that pasta to be done too far in advance. Like I said, this is a quick recipe. So you just take the tomatoes like this and you just chop them up. This is a great recipe when you even are entertaining people. You have people from out of town, family, friends, and you just want something that's Italian, that's really easy and quick and simple. I mean, look, I'm making this and it's pretty brainless. I'm talking to you and doing my thing here. I mean, and I'm not the best at doing more than one thing at a time. So if I can do this, I know for sure that you can too. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to chop up our tomatoes. You can use any type of tomato you have. Don't stress about it. Use cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. This is just what I have on hand. If I had a bunch of Roma tomatoes, I'd be using Roma tomatoes. And in terms of quantity, if anything, go more than less, because you don't want it to be dry. And if you use too few, then that's what you're going to get. Because this is kind of an oil-based sauce that we're using. But this is a very popular type of recipe in Italy. You know, I have different Italian cookbooks, and they're in there, and you know, in restaurants when you go. I mean, it's not a specialty dish, but it is a classic. And I'm just gonna get some of this in here, get that started, and you'll see that it does have a lot of tomatoes on there, tomato seeds, which is one of the problems with doing a recipe like this. Mix that up. It's already smelling delicious. I mean, really delicious. The garlic is just, yeah, it's good. So, very, very easy. I'm not doing a huge quantity. I'm making enough for myself, my husband if he wants any. He had a late lunch, so he's not too hungry. He might have a bite. If he doesn't, then, you know, I'll probably have it for leftovers tomorrow. Super easy to reheat. Just dump everything right back into a skillet like this, and put it on low, add a little bit of water, and to just kind of loosen things up. You know, they get little stuck together when they're in the fridge overnight, because now you got the pasta and the cheese and the tomatoes and everything. And so this is really, really simple. And I'm guessing that there are probably so many people that are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, oh yeah, big deal. Like, I make this all the time. You know, I grew up with this recipe. What's Liz talking about? Why is she spending her time doing such an easy recipe? Well, because Italian cooking is easy and it's simple. And these are some of our favorite recipes. So you can see here that I have enough tomatoes, and it's just going to cook down a little bit. But you know, you got to remember too, like, there are a lot of people out there that just simply don't know how to cook. You know, well, maybe they were never taught. Maybe they were like me and they had the opportunity growing up, but had no interest. I never had an interest to cook. It was not something that I ever wanted to do. Had you told me I would ever be interested in Italian cooking, I'd say, yeah, real funny. I'm laughing so hard. But you know what? When I was in Italy, I spent 6 weeks after college, a long time ago, and I spent 6 weeks backpacking, solo backpacking across Europe. And I spent about 10 days in Italy, in the town where my grandparents are from. So very, very meaningful to me, very sentimental. But anyway, during my time there, by the way, I spoke no Italian. We thought they spoke English. So I get off the train, get off, they find me, figure out who I am. I start talking to them in English. They have no clue what I'm saying. They start talking to me in Italian. I have no clue what they're saying. So we had to make gestures. They were trying to tell me, tu fame, which now I know means, are you hungry? And I'm going, thank goodness I had a book, an English Italian book, dictionary. So they were able to use that, but they're going, you know, pointing at me, rubbing their stomach, eat. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was very hungry. Anyway, I kind of got on a side track there. But long story short, my time there, the food was just incredible. And the thing about it is that it really was simple. They made amazing meals. Their salads with the olive oil and fresh lettuce grown, you know, on their farm. It was the best tasting salad I had ever eaten. It didn't have the onions. It didn't have the olives. It didn't have the carrots or the celery or all the things that we kind of come up, you know, at least, you know, more Americanized. It was so simple and it was so delicious. So the quality of ingredients really, really make a huge difference. And all to say that, to bring it back to this dish, is one of those dishes. Now, I really don't remember. This was over 20 years ago that I was there. And I don't remember if this is one of the dishes they made me. But I can tell you that I wouldn't be surprised. I remember, oh my gosh, the quantities that they gave were just amazing. And of course, you know, I had been backpacking, so I really didn't have, you know, my stomach shrank during that time. And I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in here. Never be afraid to add more olive oil, okay? Never be afraid, because if it dries out, then you're kind of like up the creek a little bit. So, all right. And this is I like this olive oil. This is, what brand is this? This is Atlas. Here, I'll show you over here. Let me change the camera view here. Okay, there we go. And so hopefully you're able to see that. It's organic. Love organic. I love organic. But you know what? Some things in organic, I don't necessarily like. Organic wines. I've tried organic wines and they're like, ugh. But I do love the organic extra virgin. If you can get first cold pressed, that is really, really good. So, but anyway, this is called Atlas, and I've been using it for, you know, we bought a couple bottles, and it's really good. I really like it. It's a nice flavor. It's not overly strong, but it's not really, you know, not too mild either. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and I know this is ready. And this, gotta keep this here because I gotta cut up some basil. So yes, the herb of choice is basil. So tomato, garlic, olive oil, and basil is like a classic combo for those who are not familiar with Italian cooking like this. So keep that in mind. Oh, and remember, for a dish like this, you don't want to strain all of the pasta water out, because if this does dry down a little bit, you want some of that pasta water to go into here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it in. And hopefully I have enough sauce. I probably should have paid a little closer attention. Yeah, I'm going to take some of this out, which is fine. I do this a lot. And I'm just going to take some of this out because I think I cooked a little too much pasta for myself tonight. I'll just put this in a little dish, set it off to the side. And maybe tomorrow when I reheat, I'll add in some fresh, you know, some more tomatoes or whatever. So, okay, so we got that. So dinner's almost ready to be served. Put this back here. So two last things to do, and this is what really gives it the final kick, which is really good, and that's the fresh basil leaves. Now, if you're watching this live, then you might be wondering, how did you get fresh basil leaves? Well, I did not go to the store and buy fresh basil leaves. I grow my own basil during the winter, and I do that using a little hydroponic countertop. If you see that back there, can you see it? Yeah. That is actually Italian parsley that I also grow in it. So I will include a link. I'm actually going to be trying another one that my mom has. And my mom is a huge fan. I got her hooked onto hydroponics. And I like her system much better than the one that I use. So I think I'm going to get one. And I'm going to do some videos for you, because I'm like, it really pays for itself. And you're in the middle of winter. And I mean, it's not winter right now, but it's the I don't know, about the second week or so of spring, and to be able to go down and pick some fresh basil, yeah, it's nice. Oh, and I live in, you know, the northern climate of Ohio, so it's not like I'm in Florida where I can grow it all year round. Would be nice. So, okay, so what's the final thing we're gonna do? What do we always do? You add some good quality cheese, Italian cheese, and I'm using Romano. Romano I love for this type of dish because it has a stronger flavor that really complements the dish. Now, if you only have Parmesan, that's okay. Don't stress. That's fine. But if you ever get a chance to use Romano, this is one of the dishes that you would want to do that for. And a little goes a long way. So I'm going to turn this off. I don't need to cook. I don't need to fry the spaghetti. And that's it. So I really hope that you enjoyed this recipe. I hope that you try it. It's so easy, and it's only been 18 minutes and, well, 19 right now. And here you have a fresh Italian dinner that you can make for you, your family, and your friends. So I will put the link down in the description. By the way, if you made it this far into the video, please give me a like, and please make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends. It really helps me out, and I want to get the news out there that for people who love easy cooking and easy Italian cooking, that this is the place to come. Glad to help you guys, and if you have any questions, let me know, and have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you so much. Ciao.